Hey shrub crafters, welcome back to another edition of Shrub Crafting. Today we are going to be talking about how to glue in the inserts onto these gold tip arrows. It's pretty much the same process from arrow to arrow. I did another video where I was using the boning burnable style on some of these. That will be posted right next to there. And I did tell you that you do not need to use tip grip as an adhesive, and I do still stand by that and say that. However, I'm doing a head-to-head comparison because gold tip tells you need to do this, and I took the ones that I used with the boning ferrule-tite and I shot those. Every one of them held perfectly. Again, I do not apply heat to the carbon, so utilizing this stick, which we have, works fine. I am going to try tip grip. I've never used them on the gold tip arrows before, so this is going to be first, and we'll see how they stand up compared to using the ferrule-tite, because this is what gold tip recommends. For a 20-gram bottle, you're talking about $12. So utilizing my insert tool, I'm going to thread this in all the way. On the inside of our cap is a little piercer. You screw this in all the way and then give it a little twist. It will pop that. Now, according to our premium arrow componentry from Gold Tip, you're going to do 3 vertical lines. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Making sure to get it in all those grooves. I'm going to take my preferred arrow of choice and I'm going to insert all the way in. Now that excess that comes out, unlike using one of these, is hard to capture. So being seated fully, there's this excess. I'm going to clean that off right now with a paper towel. One of the things that I don't like about the glue style inserts, this is a personal preference, it works great. I've used not this version, I've used some of the other ones because I do a lot of my refletching. The glues tend to stick just like a super glue to your finger, and they also stick around the edges. So learning how much that comes out and getting a good insert without that spillage is kind of a trial and error. So one of these is done, and these are for the lady shrub cat. And this is the, just if anyone is curious, these are the 600 gold tip traditionals carbon arrow. These are a plus or minus, ooh, they don't even say on here. Gross weight is 7.8. There is not a straightness on here. That's very weird because my 55-75s I've shot for years from them in the traditionals all say plus or minus 2,000s. So interesting that they're not marking that on there. I know it was on the website. I believe this is 6,000th, maybe 3,000th straightness. So again, going to try to use a little less this time just because of the amount that came out the backside. Once you do glue in any type of tip, whether it's the melt or super glue style, they should stay, and I would let them cure. The one that I had come out with this, I believe, was an issue with me not putting enough on there. The other thing is the tip grip glue is not as recapturable as this stuff. So when this melts off and you have excess, you can just throw it back on your block and you're back in business with capturing and utilizing the most of it. Now, that may seem cheap to some people, but when I have to buy it all and you have to justify that at the end of the day, it makes sense having something that you can reuse. So I know the big concern from Gold Tip is not heating the carbon, which you are not doing if you watch that other video. I do not heat the carbon at all. I am just heating the glue off of the boning ferrule-tite to go in there. So straightforward. Hope you find this information useful. If you have any questions on archery, If you have any questions on trapping, if you have any questions on hunting, fishing, whatever, feel free to ask them. I would be more than happy to try to explain. I am so full of information that may not even be right, and I'll always give you an answer. And I always have an answer for you. It may not be the right answer, it may not even be remotely close, but you will get answered to the best of my ability. One of my famous sayings in life is, there are no stupid questions, only stupid people, and I stand by that. I've asked lots of questions, many of them what I would consider stupid, but then I remember, the question wasn't stupid, I was just being stupid. So, straightforward, easy. I highly recommend getting an insert tool. It just makes this job that much quicker, helps seat them to the right depth, allows me to maximize pressure going in a concentric fashion. See, catching super glue in my fingers. Maximizes the concentricity going in, if that's the proper use of that word, and gets a solid fit. So this is the first thing you want to do whenever you buy brand new arrows. And I highly recommend that if you have some basic skills, don't pay an arrow company to cut your arrows for $6, $1 an arrow basically, $6 a half dozen. Don't pay them to cut it down at $1, $2, $3. Do it yourself. You're going to be able to do it with some basic stuff. There is a circular cutoff tool that Harbor Freight sells. And, you know, there's an Apple Products, which is one of the high-end archery companies. I believe it's the Apple cutoff wheel. It has a nice layout and measuring marking. But for a few dollars, I think it was 15, 20 bucks at most, you can buy a cutoff wheel. It's orange and gray, has a little safety, and has a little clamp on the bottom that allows you to clamp your arrow in. And if you pre-measure your arrow, mark it, and clamp it in, you pull a little safety, goes down, cuts it off. And I'll show you a video of that eventually when I get out to the garage to do that. But for the money, 1 dozen arrows of high quality is going to pay for itself. And why have somebody else do something when you can customize this yourself? And some of the arrows I was showing you the other day were all ones that I had shot. They were a little long. I was making some, cutting them down for my compound. Some were for a longbow. So as I change things up, as I move them around, I'm able to customize right here at home rather than having to go to an archery pro when you can become a pro yourself. So part of the shrubcraft experience is doing crafts, doing things that you wouldn't otherwise do. Get your friends involved, and remember, shrub crafting is not always going to some random woods. It could be in your backyard, it could be in a tent. If you have kids, you could be taking your kids out. It could be your local Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. It's just one of those things, is that shrub crafting is about utilizing skills that you may not otherwise have. If you have them, it's about honing those skills. And if you have a skill that you're confident with, why not share it? And don't be afraid to be wrong. I know there's a lot of trolls on the internet nowadays, and for me to do videos like this was a big question, and because a buddy of mine wanted to do it, or wanted me to do that because of the useless knowledge I have, I finally contemplated it, and here I am. So if you learn something, pass that knowledge on if you can, and if you know something that I don't, feel free to share it. And you don't know what I don't know, I don't know what I don't know, so you might as well try that. So in the meantime, shrub on. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. If not, thanks for watching. You know, I've learned lots off of YouTube, and I hope you do the same. Thank you.